Today you find us at a very snowy test track to answer the question we get asked more than any other at this time of year. When the weather is like this, do you need a four-wheel drive car, or can you not only get by saving a lot of money and using winter tyres instead? Could it actually be the better option? So what we have done to answer this question is bring two apparently identical Skoda Yetis down to the track today. They have the same engine in them, they both have 110 horsepower diesel in them, they've both got exactly the same tyre size on them. However, the blue car over there has got four-wheel drive but standard tyres. The grey car closer to the camera has got front-wheel drive, but it's fitted with winter tyres. And what we're going to do is we're going to put them through an acceleration test, a braking test and a cornering test, and see which does best. So what we have here is a winter tyre, and it differs from a standard tyre in three distinct ways. Firstly, and as you can see, the tread pattern is different and it has many more grooves cut into its surface. Secondly, the actual material, the compound from which the tyre is made, is different. It's designed to work at a lower temperature. And thirdly, the actual blocks of the tyre are flexible. They vibrate as the car is going along, allowing the snow to be shaken out. Test one is an acceleration test, which should probably be more properly thought of as a traction test. We're only going to go to 30 miles an hour because if you're going faster than that in conditions like this, you need to be certified. So it's straightforward, side by side, off the line, which is going to get to 30 first. The results of the acceleration test, I guess, were not too difficult to predict. Winter tyres are good, but faced with a car that can divide up its workload in 4 different directions rather than 2, they never really had much of a leg to stand on. In the end, the Yeti on winter tyres but with front-wheel drive did it in 15 seconds. This Yeti with four-wheel drive but standard tyres took 11 seconds. Test 2 is as straightforward as test 1. It's a deceleration test this time. The cars run side by side at just over 20 miles an hour and then brake to a halt. So we've just completed the braking test, and what you can see is the difference between a four-wheel drive Yeti on standard tyres, which of course when you put the brakes on makes it like every other car, a no-wheel drive car, and a front-wheel drive Yeti on winter tyres over there. I don't think you'll get a much more stark comparison between normal tyres and winter tyres. This is, if you like, the difference between not having any kind of accident at all and having really quite a big hit. Test 3 is a cornering test. We're going to go round and round in a snowy circle in a constant radius curve with equipment on the car which can measure the amount of lateral G each one develops. So we've just done the cornering test and the results are remarkable. The four-wheel drive Yeti with standard tyres managed to generate an entire 0.17 G of lateral acceleration while cornering in a constant radius bend on snow. The front-wheel drive Yeti on winter tyres created 0.23 G of cornering force. Now that may not seem very much to you, but in fact if you do the maths, what it says is that the front drive Yeti on winter tyres is capable of summoning up 35% more grip than the four-wheel drive car on standard tyres. Now I had a pretty strong suspicion the winter tyre car would win this test, but I had no idea how big that margin would be. So when the weather is like this, do you actually need a four-wheel drive car, or can you get away with a decent set of winter tyres? Well, what we discovered today is that you can more than get away with the winter tyres. In fact, you're better off with them. If you want to go up a steep, slippery slope, four-wheel drive has an advantage, but sooner or later you'll have to come back down it again, and then you want to be on the winter tyres every time. You're better off in the corners too. There's more grip, but more than that, there's more confidence, but the car is more consistent. It is easier to drive. So were it me and my money, I wouldn't bother with the four-wheel drive thing. I'd go and get myself a decent set of winter tyres every time.